at 1 half x to the power of b.
Okay, so right now we're gonna use the definition of derivative to find it. But we're gonna go through this question. We're gonna give you another practice. But a lot of time it's gonna be dealing with something that you learned before: conjugate, combine fractions, cancel factoring, or just basic math that you had to do. So let's remember what is the definition of a derivative. So f prime of x is equal to what? Limit h approach 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Okay? So that is my thing. Now I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna go by here. We're gonna say we want to find f prime of x. So f prime of x, first is gonna be limit h approach 0. Now what's f of x plus h? That means I take this function, I place the x, replace the x with the x plus h. Does that make sense? So I replace the x plus h here. So then what's gonna get? Square root of x plus h, right? We replace this x with the x plus h, but there's a plus 2 after that, right? Are we okay here?
Yeah.
Minus f of x. Well, what is f of x?
Square root of x plus 2.
But don't forget, every time you substitute something, you need what? Parentheses. Over h. You don't know how important parentheses. I actually spent 3 periods in my pre-calc talking about parentheses.
Dang, 3 periods.
3 periods.
Emilio needs that.
Yeah,
So here it's going to be square root of x plus h plus 2 minus square root of x minus 2, right? Distribute that negative sign. Then over h. And this 2 will cancel out. So it'll be limit h approach 0 of square root of x plus h minus square root of x over h. Now what happens if I plug in 0? Square root of x minus square root of x over h, so it's going to be 0 over 0, right? Now what do you do if it's 0 over 0 and you have radical? Conjugate. Are we okay here? Now that's equal to limit h approach 0. What happens if you don't write this down because you're gonna forget? H is supposed to go to 0. So what happens if you square this? It's a minus b. Oh, this one's plus. My bad.
Yeah.
Now this one's gonna multiply together. That's gonna give you a x plus h, right? Minus x over h times square root x plus h plus square root x. This x gonna cancel out with this negative x. H gonna cancel out, but still left with a negative 1. Okay, so if h gonna cancel out, that's gonna give you a negative 1. Do I need to rewrite it again? Okay, this is h, right? X and negative x cancel out, right? This and this one is negative h.
Wait, what? It's not negative.
It's not
It's
negative.
x plus h and then minus x.
Yeah, it's just 1. It's just 1.
It's supposed to be.
Why do you have a 1 there, anyways?
You can't.
Oh, duh.
It's just
X minus x. It should
Oh
be
no, that's
positive.
positive.
Yeah, it's x minus.
Okay, so now, so let's say h cancel out. It's going to be 1. So we limit h approach to 0. So it's going to be 1 over square root x plus h plus square root x. Then the h equal to 0, so it'll be is equal to 1 over 2 square root of x, because square root of x plus square root of x is 2 square root of x. and that's 2 square root of x. So what does that mean? This means f prime of x is equal to 1 over 2 square root of x. That means I can find slope at any x value. Not only that, if I can find slope at any value, I can plug in, I get slope, and then I can plug in a point back to the original equation. I can find the equation of tangent line at any given value. So just say, if I say, I want to find equation of tangent line, so find equation of tangent line at x is equal to y. What number you like?
3.
I don't like 3.
4.
4, okay, 4 is good. Okay, so let's say you want to find the equation tangent line at x equal to 4. Then all I do is plug in 4 into the original equation. So plug in 4 into the original equation. Why original equation? I need to get y value to get the equation tangent line. So I plug in 4 into here. It's going to be square root of 4 plus 2. That's equal to 2 plus 2. That's equal to 4, right? And then we can say, let's find the slope. How do I find the slope? How do I find the slope? Plug into where?
The prime.
Derivative. Right? That's equal to 1 over 2 square root of 4. That's equal to 1 over 4. So that means this one is the slope. Am I going too fast? Now how do I find the equation tangent line? Y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. Am I going too fast?
You're good.
I know for you it's good. Yes?
So the 4 you plugged into the f prime one, that's because of the one you found from up there, right? Not because x equals 4.
Well, I say find the equation of tangent line at x equal to 4. You need to find the y value of a tangent line, right? So you need to plug in the original function to get a y value. So this is the y value, right? And then I plug in 4 into the equation of the slope, which is the derivative. Then I get 1 over 4. Now I can just plug in, make sure you use point slope form now. Can we do that? Y minus 4 is equal to what?
1 over 4.
1 over 4 times x minus 4, right? Can somebody help me turn on the projector? Thank you.
He's tall.
Really
Really tall.
That's the only reason I turned the stage. That's good.
He's gonna be your
Turn on
projector.
my projector. No, David's actually a very nice guy. That's what he does know. No, it's not quite.
I just don't want to be.
What's up, Liz? I'll be Liz.
I'll sit in your corner.
I'm a guy.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
I'm not.
It does, I think it just says y value, yeah.
That's a pretty interesting conversation you guys.
So you see that graph, right? And then we're gonna show you the point, where the point at, 4, 4, right? That's the point,
Wait, turn the lights off.
right? And we should be able to find the equation tangent line. Now guess what? Y equal to y minus 4 equal to what? 1 over 4 times x minus what?
Put it outside, put it outside, mister.
Oh.
There you go.
Do you see that equation tangent line?
Hey, it only touches at one point.
Holy crap.
It only touched the 1 point, yeah. It turns out you can find at any point, if you do it right, that you can find any points here, and we're gonna show you the one that you can find any points, which is nice, which is this one here, the tangent line here, and if you say square root of x, right, and then plus 2. right? So you can let it play. Then you can actually find the slope at any given moment. So what happened that 1 over 2 square root of x can give you an equation to all that if from the a doesn't give you negative. This is boundary issues.
Doesn't
So-
exist. Came back.
That's pretty cool.
Okay,
And it
question about it.
disappears.
So here's my question.
Nice.
My question says, hey, can you find the slope of this one? F of x is equal to, let's say 1 over x plus 1. Okay, so I want you to find the derivative of that function. And if you want a challenge one, I also have a challenge one too. So f of x is equal to 1 over square root of x. That's a little bit more challenging than the first one. So you can do both. Limit x equals 0, yes. I'm all. You can combine fractions. You can use a radical. You might have to do both on the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, just the plus one should be under the line. I think.
And to make a second question more difficult, because that's not more fun, which is I will make sure of finishing this after the class because I will just post a video, you can watch it if you have a problem with.
Yeah, but it's all over H.
It's all over H.
Cause like, you can't just get rid of the H and like one, right?
Huh?
I'm learning how to factor now. I'm not
Someday. You can't just get rid of that H.
So the second one, I wanna, not only that, I wanna find the equation, right? Equation that is a parallel, find the equation of tension. It's a parallel, how to spell it?
Why'd you
Parallel.
X plus 2y minus 6 is equal to 0.
Why'd you,
Oh.
you wrote that.
Oh. I'll go over both of them if I run out of time, but you're more welcome to stay after watch it.
I thought you were in a movie night. Oh, yeah.
Can I erase this part or no?
I gotta go to the library.
Can you erase this part? Evan, can you erase this part?
I'm gonna start getting my homework here.
Do you need to take a picture before I erase it?
It's on the live.
Can I? Oh, okay.
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's no good.
It's really annoying. So I can't. Okay, so basically you just take the equation you have, which is like 1 over x plus 1, right? So basically for this, so let's over that, right? So that means 1, like minus 1 over x plus 1, right? So that's x, f of x equals that. So f of x plus h equals 1 over, basically just plug in x plus h for x plus h. And then plus 1. That makes sense?
Sarah, what are you doing there?
With that, and x plus h, you plug in x plus h for x. You get that. That makes sense? Then 1 over
You should get -1 over x plus 1 parentheses squared.
I'll limit x to 0, obviously.
You guys get that or no? No? Okay, let's do it.
Yes.
Limit h approach 0, right?
Yeah.
1 over x plus h
Okay.
plus 1, right?
Right?
Yes. Mine.
Minus 1 over x plus 1, right? Over h, right? Do they have a same denominator?
Yes. Perfection.
No, they don't have same denominator, right?
Combined.
So what do? Combine. So you're gonna multiply this side by 1 over x plus h plus 1.
Oh my, that's actually a lot of work.
There's a better way to do it?
No, it's like a lot of work.
Yeah, unfortunately. And that's one, that side is gonna be 1 over what?
Wait, isn't it x
Yeah,
plus
it's-
h
it's
plus
over
1 over
over.
itself? It's like over itself,
Yeah, it's over.
not 1 over, right?
Yeah.
Because like, you can't multiply by a different thing, you have to multiply by 1. Like with the green marker on the right, shouldn't it be like x plus h plus 1 over x plus h plus 1?
Yeah. What's it? That's it.
What do you mean?
That's what I did. That's what I did to get the thing.
Like take the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
just done the whole problem.
I didn't hear what
Same
you
thing on the
said.
left side.
So, thank
Not
you.
the shot, right?
X plus 1. I almost, my mind's kinda absent right now, because I end up here.
And if you combine, so.
So now you combine that, so it's gonna be limit h approach 0, thank you, Siddharth. So it'll be x plus 1 times x plus h plus 1 on the bottom. On the top, it's gonna be x plus 1. Now, this is a parenthesis, Emilio. If you don't know what parenthesis is probably the most important thing in math. Minus x plus h plus 1, right? All over h.
Yes.
Now again, I meant distributor, so I meant distributor here. Minus x, minus h, right? Minus 1. Is that okay? Am I going too fast? Okay. I'm just so lazy to write out again. So it'll be x plus 1 minus x minus h minus 1.
The 1 and the x can't count.
X plus 1 times x plus h plus 1 all over h.
The x's cancel, the 1's
The x cancel,
The 1's
the
cancel.
1 cancel,
You're left with
the
negative.
negative h cancel with this h becomes negative 1.
Yes.
That's gonna be negative 1. So it'll be limit h approach 0 at a negative 1 over x plus 1, x plus h plus 1.
Four
H is gonna go 0, so it's equal to negative 1 over x plus 1 to the square.
Oh, I should have never foiled it then. More steps. I took more steps back.
Oh, that is quotient rule.
Actually, I took more steps, but I still got the same thing.
Quotient rule is so important to do it that way.
The second one is a little bit more challenging.
Oh wait, I haven't done the second one.
Yeah, second one is more challenging than this one.
I'll do the second one.
Yes.
Where did the H and
H and H cancel with this one. H cancel with this one. X and X cancel out 1 and 1. Huh? Oh, because H approach 0.
Because the H's can solve each other.
Now you can try this one. This one had to do both. Conjugate, combine fraction, and then algebra 1, and then algebra 2. Yeah. But they say find the equation line that is parallel to x plus 2y minus 6 equal to 0. Make sure you watch the rest of the video if you decide to leave early. But we have to find the derivative first.
Both ones, just do whatever.
We have to find the derivative first. Yes.
So I have like a really stupid question about that.
Okay, sure.
for like the first part, when you were finding common, when you were finding common denominators for the fraction, why didn't you multiply both of them? Why just multiply one?
What? What do you mean?
So that can you help him?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh, God.
Okay, wait. This part?
Yeah, why didn't you multiply both of the fractions by a common denominator? Why did you just multiply one?
Because you get a really big numerator compared to like what you would get if you did this. Because you could multiply this whole thing by like by that times like x plus 1 over x plus 1. You could do that, but like, why would you? Not for
Don't play with my live stream, man.
Alright, you good, bro.
Because then you could do that, but that's gonna get so much more work. I'll trust you guys.
No, I'm trying to zoom out, bro.
Try to
Trust.
look at his nostril.
I'm getting an angle.
Yeah, does that make sense? Like you could do that, but it's gonna be a lot more work.
That makes sense, so you just did it to both sides.
Yeah, separately, so you have less work. There's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that you'd be doing like an hour's worth of work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that's kind of like
I'm gonna watch the live stream over just to see what it looks like. Find the slope and set that derivative. You have the equation, find the slope of that equation, set f prime of x equal to that. What are you, dumb?
Right now.
Make sure you watch the last part. This question now, Corbett. You have quiz tomorrow.
What? I don't take a quiz.
On what?
on what?
No.
That's tough.
So like, just derivative, like find like the slope and like.
So the 1/2 is here.
Find the derivative.
Yes.
X was H,
Got it.
Okay, okay, okay.
I usually like these problems.
The last part of math is kind of complicated, but I'll go through it. If you guys can stay, you stay, but if you cannot, just you have to go, you have to go. But I do need to talk to a few of you guys, so hopefully I can get to talk to you. So if I plug in x plus h, right? Minus 1 over square root of x, right? Is equal to 1 over h. And we're gonna have f prime of x is equal to limit h approach 0. Now, do they have a same denominator?
No.
No.
They do that.
So what do I need?
Multiply by square root of x.
Square root of x over square root of x, right?
Yeah, that's square root of
Multiply this by what?
square root of x plus h. Wow. What?
Now, I'm gonna get, guys, h approach 0, that's gonna give you what? So square root of x plus h, right? On the bottom here, on the top is gonna be square root of x minus square root of x plus h, all over h. But we know we plug in 0 something, that's gonna get me 0 over 0, so I don't wanna show you the work of that. But the problem is, you had to conjugate it here. But just conjugate the top part, this part.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get 0 over 0.
We have that much time, guys. That's all.
Okay, I'm gonna finish it. If you can stay, you have to go, that's fine. That's equal to limit h approach 0. I'm gonna multiply this by conjugate. So I'm gonna multiply this by conjugate. So square root of x plus square root of x plus h over square root of x plus square root of x plus h. This is a conjugate. Equal to limit h approach 0. That's gonna give you x minus h all over square root of x times square root of x plus h.
Times square root of
over h. Don't stop yet.
Cancel.
There's no top here, what do you do?
Cancel.
X and x cancel out, right?
And the H and the H cancel.
H and h cancel out, that's gonna give you -1.
Yes.
H plus 0.
So be
Square root of x times square root of x is what?
just X.
It's x,
I think that I got like.
right? -1.
And then square root of X.
Now that's gonna be 2
2x.
square root of x.
So be 2, yeah.
And that's my answer
Yes.
here. But that's not done yet.
Really?
Because you wanna find
Oh, okay.
parallel to this.
That's what Emilio was asking. Never mind.
Parallel to this, then you have to set this equation. You have to say solve for y. Why? I'm gonna get 2y is equal to -x minus plus 6, right? Divided by 2. So y is equal to -1/2 x plus 3. This is the slope I'm paying attention to.
True.
Yes.
Now the slope has to equal to this.
It's x minus x.
Because
and
this is the slope of this equation, right? This is slope of this equation. Parallel, they have to equal to each other. So that's gonna be 2x square root of x.
I will not do that. I'm trying to get like 5.
I will take the EU shortcut. I see the -1/2 here, right? And I see here -1/2 here. So I divide by both sides by -1/2. That's gonna give you 1 equal to 1 over x square root of x.
X squared.
Now multiply both sides by, it's gonna be x square root of x is equal to 1. Now you're gonna be like, how in the world you do this?
Combine them.
You there's a product rule in the exponential rules here, but you had to convert this to fractions. So x times x to the 1/2 is equal to 1, right? So that means 1 plus 1/2 is equal to x to 3/2 is equal to 1.
Alright.
Now how do I get rid of 3/2 power? Reciprocal power on both sides.
Yes.
So it'll be x to the 3/2 to the 2/3 equal to 1 to the 2/3 power, x is equal to 1.
All that was
X equal to 1, then you have to plug in the original equation to find the y value. So it's 1, 1, right?
You guys are confused? I don't blame you.
It's just so hard.
What's the date?
You'll learn faster to do it.
M is equal to -1 over what?
Like when we run.
2.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna say y minus 1 is equal to -1/2 times x minus 1.
Is it done?
Yeah.
Can I take a picture?
Oh, you don't have better than picture, I have video. Welcome to calculus. Now we start.
Oh, you're confused?
Now we're gonna show you the graphic part of it, so I'm gonna show you the graphic calculator.
Oh, that's parallel to that equation.
Look weird, bro.
David, can you tell me exactly again?
Why did he do that?
You confused, Joseph?
No, why are you gonna?
How did you get taken? My page.
Where did that come from?
My twin.
Minus.
Go all in, go.
It is minus x and then y equals x.
Ryan,
Oh, you can't film that. You can't film that.
Wait, you know how you did this again? Why did he do it again?
He did multiply conjugate.
Ah,
No.
I think.
Gotta cancel.
Minus x plus 8.
I called it C.
Minus x minus 8.
Hold on, give me a second.
Please stop,
Give me a
Liz.
second. What?
He's showing something, bro. Not in the live stream.
He's just been trying to.
No, I'm filming the math, bro.
Oh,
This is some good mathematics.
That is disgusting. For a bit. And that's everyone else leaves. Are you leaving? One of the all-star. No, wait, stop.
I don't.
Yeah, can you move, bro?
Okay,
Why are you going to? Lock his mute. I did when he said that.
Is he still alive?
Yes. Mahmoud, stop.
Get your hand off the camera.
Can I end it?
I'm the cameraman.
More like you're looking at
She just said this is disgusting. That's a disgusting report. Obviously, it looks horrible. Disgusting. It looks horrible. Obviously, that's my buzz.
Yeah.
camera around.
Yo, Rush. I'm mad about this, bro.
About that, yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, I do, I wanted to.
Stop.
Yeah, because I did that. I did that.
You know, my eyes can't
I'm
see
filming the mathematics in the bag.
How come I can feel the heat radiating?
I know, right?
Yeah, I'll do it.
With?
Alright, how did you get that 2x?
What are you doing?
We have a quiz tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we got a quiz tomorrow, right?
Hey, you didn't know, right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, you want to see my nostril?
It's on the live stream now. The quiz is tomorrow. I'm letting everyone know, you know, just in case they didn't hear it.
Quiz tomorrow?
Yeah. It's good to know that you didn't tell us.
Yo, why?
I don't want to be inside.
What?
I don't want to be in the camera.
Don't worry, it's like only
Okay,
on
so
the space right now.
guys, look at this. This is the line of x plus 2y minus 6 equal to 0. There's only one point in time it's going to be a parallel, which has happened right here. See that? Right here. Boom. Right there. That's going to be a parallel. Okay? So then if I write down the next equation, if I write the equation that we got, which is y minus 1, right? Y minus 1 is equal to 1/2. It was a positive 1/2 or negative 1/2? X minus 1, and that is negative. You see that? There's only one time that line is parallel to that line, in which is you have to find the derivative, set it equal to each other, and you solve algebraically. And that's what's cool about it. Now, your quiz is not going to be this difficult. It's probably something relatively easy.
You're gonna ask about the line?
Like maybe x to the third x squared, maybe 1 over x.
Okay.
But not 1 over square root x.
What? Is that easy?
Oh, wait, I think
Is it easy? Yeah. Is it annoying? Yes.
Alright. Oh, you just need to know how to do algebra.
So do you get how we were left with negative 1 on the top?
It's not very cool.
Then we're left with, please stop.
I'm doing the math. Literally, I actually am. Ask Elizabeth.
No, he wasn't.
Now I am though.
whichever one you plug.
I need a better angle on this math. Hold on.
Just
First
did all this. First.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, you have to.